Have you ever felt exhausted from constantly thinking about others? Wondering what they're saying about you? Worrying about how they see you? Measuring yourself against who's ahead? Who's more successful? While you're still struggling to find your own way. In this noisy world, it's so easy to lose sight of what truly matters. Taking care of your own mind. The Buddha once said, "Do not look at the faults of others. Look at your own faults." Not because others are perfect, but because your own mind is the source of both suffering and peace. This video is a gentle journey inward, through 6 simple but powerful Buddhist lessons that can shift how you live each day. You don't have to change the world. You just have to begin with your own heart. 1. Mind your own mind. The Buddha once said, "All that we are is the result of what we have thought." This is more than just a philosophy. It is a profound truth about the nature of our mind. Our lives are not shaped by what happens to us on the outside, but by how we think about those experiences. Every thought is a seed planted in the soil of our consciousness. If you plant anxiety, you will harvest unrest. If you plant mindfulness, you will grow peace. In today's world, it's easy for our minds to be pulled outward. We become obsessed with what others think, say, or do. We react to their looks, their words, their judgments, as if everything outside us has the power to define our worth. But in doing so, we abandon our own minds. We stop being the masters of what's happening within. To mind your own mind means to return inward, to observe your thoughts as they come and go, to notice when you begin comparing, judging, or getting caught up in someone else's life, and then gently guide your attention back to yourself, your breath, your present moment, your truth. Start simply. Every morning, ask yourself, what am I thinking about today? Am I living for myself, or reacting to someone else's opinions? When you learn to guard your own mind, the outside world loses its grip on you, and you begin to realize, peace does not come from how others treat you. It comes from what you nurture inside your own heart. 2. Stop comparing. Start growing. In Buddhism, comparison is seen as one of the roots of suffering. The Buddha said, "There is no greater delusion than believing someone else's path is easier, or that your life is worse than another's." Yet, we live in a world that feeds comparison constantly, through social media, through culture, through the silent pressures of being enough. We compare how we look, what we earn, where we are in life, and every time we do, we shrink. But these comparisons are illusions. You were never meant to walk someone else's path. You are here to walk your own, with all its unique challenges, hidden lessons, and sacred timing. Think of the lotus flower. It doesn't look left or right to check who's blooming faster. It simply grows upward, through the mud, toward the light, in its own time, in its own way. You are the same. True peace comes not from measuring yourself against others, but from honoring the small, steady steps of your own growth. Even the tiniest progress is worthy of celebration. So today, make this decision. Stop comparing. Start growing. Let your life unfold the way it's meant to, not faster, not brighter, not like anyone else's. Just real. Just yours. You don't have to be better than anyone else. You only have to be better than who you were yesterday. 3. Release the need for approval. From childhood, we are taught to seek approval. Good grades, good behavior, good appearance, all for someone else's validation. But the more we chase approval, the further we drift from ourselves. The Buddha said, "Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace." And sometimes, that word is enough. You are enough, not because others say so, but because you recognize it in yourself. The endless need to be liked, praised, or accepted by others is a trap. No amount of likes, applause, or compliments can fill the emptiness left by self-rejection. True peace only begins when you approve of yourself. This doesn't mean you become cold or stop caring. It means you no longer hand your self-worth to the opinions of others. You no longer wait for permission to feel good about who you are. So start small. Each morning, look into the mirror and say, "I approve of who I am. I am enough as I am." Not because you're perfect, but because you're real. When you no longer need approval, you find peace. When you accept yourself, you set yourself free. 4. Detach from gossip and drama. One of the greatest thieves of inner peace is gossip. Not just the words we speak, but also the thoughts we entertain about others. The Buddha taught, speak only what is true, kind, and beneficial. Most gossip is none of these. It may feel entertaining or bonding in the moment, but it slowly poisons the mind and drains your energy. When we talk about others' flaws, we add noise to our minds and distance from our own growth. Instead, choose silence. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom. It protects your heart from unnecessary conflict, and it gives your spirit room to rest and heal. When you're tempted to speak ill or engage in drama, ask yourself, is this helpful to my peace? Will this conversation lead to clarity or just more confusion? If the answer is no, step back. Detach with love. You don't need to fix everything. You don't need to comment on everyone. By letting go of gossip, you make space for deeper conversations with your own soul. 5. Practice loving kindness with boundaries. Buddhism teaches us to cultivate metta, loving kindness, for all beings. To send compassion, even to those who hurt us. But loving kindness does not mean allowing others to harm us. There is a difference between compassion and self-sacrifice. Between being kind and being unguarded. True loving kindness begins with yourself. You deserve peace. You deserve protection. The Buddha never asked us to abandon our well-being in the name of love. Instead, he taught us to act with wisdom, to love without attachment, and to give without losing ourselves. So yes, send kindness. Pray for those who hurt you. But also know when to step back. Imagine a golden light around you, a quiet, gentle boundary that protects your mind and heart from the chaos of others. Let others have their experiences, but don't let their storms flood your inner stillness. Boundaries are not barriers. They are bridges to inner peace. Love deeply, but protect wisely. That is the balance of awakened compassion. 6. Remember impermanence. The Buddha taught, all conditioned things are impermanent. That means everything, every thought, every feeling, every situation will change. Nothing stays. Not your pain, not your joy, not even the opinions others hold about you. We suffer when we forget this. When we believe that what's happening right now, the stress, the judgment, the chaos, will last forever. But it won't. The opinions that disturb you today will fade. The people who misunderstand you will drift away. Even the heaviest burdens lose their weight with time. Impermanence is not something to fear. It is something to embrace. Because it means that no pain is permanent. No mistake defines you. And no moment, no matter how dark, lasts forever. So when you feel overwhelmed, breathe. Remind yourself, this too shall pass. Let that truth lighten your heart. Let it remind you to live fully, not in fear of what might change, but in gratitude for what is. When you accept impermanence, you stop clinging to what hurts and start flowing with what heals. When you stop thinking so much about others, you don't become selfish, you return to yourself. Peace isn't found in the eyes of others, but in the quiet way you meet your own mind each day. These 6 lessons, guarding your thoughts, letting go of comparison, releasing the need for approval, stepping away from drama, loving with boundaries, and remembering impermanence, are not rules. They are doorways. Doorways back to your center. Back to silence. Back to clarity. Back to the truth that you don't need to become someone else. You just need to come home to who you are.